Guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be reacting to our Premier League predictions. Not just see me get humiliated? I'm pretty sure you will. So make sure you smash that subscribe button and the like button, and let's aim for 0 likes today. Here we are with our first prediction. We predicted Norwich City to be bottom of the Premier League. And I was right! That is a rare occurrence. Trust me, you will not see many are right. But Norwich, probably not the hardest one, so I don't know why I'm so happy. Norwich didn't show much. 7-0 loss to Chelsea, 5-0 to Tottenham on the final day. Plenty of results like that. They showed the odd bit of hope, but there was none really. I don't know why I'm saying that. Norwich, sum them up, rubbish season. Seems as if Harry's pulling off an absolute tactical mastermind here. They've got 2 in a row. Watford and Norwich, not being the most impressive, but we will take them. Emmanuel Dennis, who actually was firing in goals left, right and centre at the beginning of the season, really dropped off towards the end of the season and only finished with 10 goals and 6 assists, which is alright, but he could have progressed, I reckon, maybe even double if he kept up his form with the goals. And next top scorer was Cucho Hernandez with 5, level with Joshua King on assist and goals actually. Overall, Watford was pretty shocking defensively. They let in way too many goals. Attacking was alright, but it's got to be even. You've got to be able to stop goals and score goals to stay in the Premier League. And conceding and having a goal difference of -43 isn't ideal. 23 points only one above Norwich. It's just not a great season for Watford. Brentford 18th. I am from near Brentford and I had almost no hope. As I said, it would be close. They would almost scrape through. They put in good performances. They did more. They beat my side 4-1 at the Bridge. Brentford have had an unbelievable season. Expected, Bryan Mbeumo and Ivan Toney both topping their charts for goals and assists. Mbeumo assist, Toney goals. It's been a really amazing season for Brentford, and I have no words. 3rd best form in the league towards the end of the season, topping the likes of Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, only behind Liverpool and City. Brentford have shocked us all. Next up we had Southampton. I predicted them to be 17th in the league to just avoid relegation. They finished 15th, so it's not the worst shout, but they weren't exactly in the relegation fight. So they've had a pretty average season, not much to go for. They've only had Ward-Prowse, who scored 11 goals. Most of them were free kicks. Broja, Elianusi, Shea Adams, 988. Broja on loan from Chelsea has been a big impress. He's going to be looking for a big move in the summer, definitely. But overall, pretty average season for Southampton. At 16th, we now have Newcastle. Now, that would have been a generous shout earlier in the season, and any Newcastle fans would have taken it. But now, it's pretty harsh. I finished I think it was 11th towards the end of the season. They had a brilliant run. And there were doubts whether the money got by the Saudi takeover would be used wisely in January. But the signings of Dan Burn, Chris Wood, and Bruno Guimaraes, who was a brilliant signing, have really proved good for them, and they've helped them out massively. And it's been a really strong season in the end for Newcastle. Burnley were predicted 15th, and all I have to say is, play the clip back from the predictions video. They will definitely stay up, I think. They got relegated. Burnley were in the relegation battle for the entire season, and at some points they were maybe bottom. They had games in hand though, so there was always a glimmer of hope for Burnley. It just never quite came off. Everton had brilliant form towards the end of the season. In the last 5 games, they picked up a couple of amazing wins, like the one against Crystal Palace, Brentford, and I'm just shocked that I said that. Obviously, with the sacking of Sean Dyche, which was a big move for the Burnley board, towards the last stages of the seaon. Not a totally convincing move that. Could he have kept them up? Who knows? But Burnley were relegated. Brighton were predicted in 14th position, and I was wrong. Brighton had a brilliant season, their highest ever finish, I believe, in the Premier League. Top half of the table, they finished 9th. They're the draw specialists of the league with 15 draws, but 12 wins, more than losses. They had 11. So pretty even season for Brighton in terms of win, draws and losses. But the likes of Lamptey, especially early in the season, played a huge part, and McAllister came through the season, Cucurella, loads of brilliant players for Brighton, and it has been a brilliant season for them. I said they needed to invest in my Premier League predictions video, and the likes of Cucurella that was signed was some really good business, and the loan deal for Lamptey, so they definitely did that, like I said. 13th were predicted to be Crystal Palace by me earlier on in the season, and because of the fact that Patrick Vieira had no experience in the Premier League, to take the side to 13th was a really, truly amazing achievement. The real surprise star of the season was Conor Gallagher. On loan from Chelsea, the Englishman performed day in, day out when he played for them. It was a truly brilliant season for him. Zaha topping the goal scorer charts. 13th, pretty average Palace. Tend to be mid-table, that sort of area. But a pretty good season, I'd say. 12th, we had West Ham. They finished 7th. They are into the European competitions for next season, and they reached the Europa League final. I massively underestimated West Ham. I'm very sorry to West Ham because they had a truly brilliant season with the likes of Bowen shining, Thomas Souček had a good season, Antonio banging in the goals. West Ham, I'm sorry. I predicted Wolves to finish 11th in the Premier League. They finished 10th, so I'm pretty happy with this one. Wolves have had a weird season. They don't seem to like scoring, and they only go on runs. They tend to lose a lot, and then lose, and then lose. But they also win. So it's a really weird season this for Wolves, and I'd say they'd be pretty disappointed maybe with only 10th. They need to be really pushing for higher mid-table now, as they finished, I think it was like 7th last season. Bruno Lage stepping in maybe like halfway through the season to replace Nuno, who left for Tottenham. He wasn't there for long. He really impressed, I think, in the second half of the season, Bruno Lage. There were doubts, expectations were low, but overall, pretty average for Wolves this season. This could be my worst prediction. Leeds to finish 10th. Say no more. 19th. They were in the relegation fight for like the entire season, especially towards the end. How they went to Brentford and won 2-1, I don't know. Odds were completely against them. They were massive underdogs. Brentford were the favourites. Burnley were thought to be staying up. I thought this, but no, it went the other way. And I predicted Leeds way too generously in 10th position. I should be ashamed of myself. 9th, I said, would be Aston Villa, and they finished 14th. Aston Villa had, I'd say, a pretty strong first half of the season, but then it started to drop off. And with the team they have, the likes of Leon Bailey, who has barely played this season, and it might have just been to injury, but the likes of Danny Ings coming in from Southampton off the back of one of his best seasons of his career, the likes of McGinn, lots of his brilliant captain, good player. There's so many good players in there, and they just didn't perform. It's been a pretty poor season for Aston Villa, and I wouldn't be very happy with it. 8th, I predicted Everton. They finished 16th, 8 places off. A prediction of 8th, I don't actually think was that bad. Many people thought they would push towards the top 10 of the table. But the team they had, they should be doing better than in the relegation scrap. I mean, obviously the injury of Dominic Calvert-Lewin played a huge role, but the team around him, for the likes of Richarlison, Demarai Gray, was experienced in the Premier League, Decore, all those experienced players. Everton should be really disappointed with this season and should be doing better. In 7th, I predicted Tottenham. Now they finished 4th, but earlier on in the season, 7th didn't look too off, as Harry Kane was barely playing after his so many links to City. He wasn't in full scoring flow, and the team was looking pretty average. The only positives was Son, really. But the second half of the season especially, Harry Kane really started to bang in the goals. Him and Son breaking the record for something like the most goal contributions between two players. Crazy. And ended up finishing top 4 and reaching the Champions League. And from where they were, it was a huge achievement. And it's been, therefore, a similar Spurs season to the last few seasons. Just scraping through, qualifying for the Champions League. But an okay season for Spurs. 6th, I predicted Arsenal. Now, they finished 5th, but they were quite comfortably 5th to 6th, being Man United. Now, again, for the other North London side, early on in the season, this was not a bad prediction, but Arsenal really start to ramp up the form towards the second half as well. And the likes of Odegaard and Saka having brilliant seasons, and Martinelli, not to forget. Just missing out on Champions League football, really blew it at the end. But a positive season for Arsenal, definitely. The youngsters really getting involved, and it's something to build on. 5th, I predicted Leicester. Now, they finished 8th after a late spurt in the season, so having a few wins in a row. But really, after last season, where they were so close to getting to Champions League football, people really expected them to at least be there again. But Leicester have had a poor season, and finishing 8th shows a better season than they've truly had. With the likes of Vardy dropping off form and getting injured, Soyuncu dropping off form over the last 2 seasons especially, Maddison being one of the only bright stars in Leicester's team. Despite their position, it's been a pretty average year for Leicester. In 4th, I predicted Liverpool. They finished 2nd, 1 point off the title. Finishing 4th, I thought Salah and Mane would have a bad season. Salah had his best season in 5 seasons. Liverpool got really unlucky to miss out on the title. Won 2 cups, FA Cup and Carabao Cup against my team Chelsea, sadly. Got to the Champions League final and only won 1 point off the title. So it was almost a quadruple. So Liverpool, really good season, but especially next season, they probably want to be looking to win a major trophy. Really, I'm sorry to all Liverpool fans out there for predicting you 4th. 3rd, I predicted my team, Chelsea. Now, Chelsea, for the first few months of the season, were top of the league. The likes of James and Chilwell firing goals and assists left, right and centre, really enjoying the wing-back position. But when they both got injured, it all went downhill from there. We started drawing games, losing games, and then Liverpool and City just took it away from us. 3rd was then our position for the rest of the season. The likes of Romelu Lukaku really disappointing this season. And overall, it was a pretty good season for Chelsea. They just got unlucky with the 2 injuries at the beginning, but lots of people predicting Chelsea to win the league at the beginning of the season. And I thought that might have been a possibility. But it was 3rd again for Chelsea, first a couple of seasons in a row now, maybe, I think. But next season, Chelsea really should be trying to push on towards challenging with Liverpool and City. I predicted Manchester United. 6th. Manchester United had one of the worst seasons of their club history in the last 3 decades. Players were walking around the pitch. Sancho didn't find form until 3/4 the way through the season. Varane was pretty good, and Ronaldo, Ronaldo, De Gea, Varane were the only really true good players. And the rest of the team just not putting it in. They don't run, they just walk around the pitch, don't put the effort in. Manchester United should be ashamed of themselves this season. They've had a horrendous season, and hopefully for United fans and the team, the like of Ten Hag coming in, will save their club a bit, because at the moment it's not looking good. Not to forget Bruno Fernandes, really disappointing this season off the back of such a brilliant first season at United. Really underperformed. And the predicted champions are Manchester City. My third prediction that I actually got right out of 20, which is not great, let's be honest. City, it was always going to be between them and Liverpool, really. I don't know why I put Liverpool fourth. But City, fair enough, they've done it again. City are just class. They score so many goals, they've got such a solid defence, midfield's great. There's nothing wrong with the City team, except they need to win the Champions League soon. After winning the Premier League like 3 times in the last 4 seasons, and to have never won a Champions League in that period, it's not great. But City are our champions, congratulations to them. So much for watching us react to our Premier League predictions from earlier on the season, and watching me get humiliated. Bye for now.